All right, so this is a quick review of the UI table view cell customized. So for instance, if we do not implement a customized table view cell, this is how we do it, right? And this is a default or a regular UI table view cell. And it allows us to have a text label and of course, a image view for free. There are two free elements here, and I'm going to show you where you can get the free image view here. So the image view, it is basically so for, and we have image view period image, right? And we could assign some data here, and I'll be using let's see that I'll be using some um, system name here, which is a camera, and the run code one more time, and then you'll be seeing, all right, so there will be two cameras. Uh, there will be camera on each row, right? So these are free elements, all right? If simply means you don't have to create from scratch, right? All right. Um, However, in the most of the time, right? These are okay because I mean you just need a picture, icons, and contents such as text or some informations. Um, right? Okay, and you can also modify the picture, right? In an array. So where is the array? So this is the array. So for instance, I can have chapters, uh, images, right? So this one is also going to be a string, and I'm going to have two strings here. First one is the camera, another one is going to be, let's say maybe a pencil. And then for that, all I have to do is just modify that by chapters images, right? IMGs, and square bracket. And actually, we need to access this guy, right? Okay. But the problem is, how would we implement these? It is actually, all right, it is actually this. Okay. And then I'm going to have this one as index path dot row, right? Okay. So therefore, um, I need a string value series, and this is basically an array of string, right? Okay, there we go. And let's run the code one more time. So then we could have, logically speaking, we're going to have a camera and a pencil. All right, one, two, right? Okay, there we go. Good. Um, as I mentioned before, in real world situation, probably we need customize our UI table view a little bit, right? And this is one of the solutions here. Firstly, what we could do is probably we want to have let icon view, maybe UI image view, right? And then assignment operator. And all of those is supposed to be the old knowledge here, right? The way to define a UI image view here. And maybe we have an icon or chapter title, right? And logically speaking, now you can use UI text view instead of labels. Those are labels, all right? Those are UI label, and you can definitely modify that by UI text view, which is a bit different. All right, and then you can also have let chapter subtitle, right? Subtitle, sub, just a subtitle, right? And since we're using underscore connection, so I guess I can just use all lowercase right here. And for this one, I guess probably I would just copy this, right, and then paste it, and then it's all good. What you need to do next is function, right? Probably you don't have to. It is basically right here, BOM. So you're using content view, period, add subview, and you're adding icon view, chapter, chapter subtitle title in it, right? Okay. Um, because if you forget, you probably will be using view, but there's no such view because it is a different subclass, right? This is a subclass of UI table view cell. It is not a table view whatever controller, all right? So therefore, the root view are different basically. So it is a content view, all right? And then you add it in, all right? And then you basically add the rest in, right? And if you want to create, if you are planning to implement a more elements rate, definitely you can use an array to handle uh, the process here, right? So for instance, icon underscore view and the chapter title. What else? Chapter subtitle, right? Okay. And then instead of call the method 3 times, you can use a for item, right, in AR and a content view, constant content view, period add sub view, and you can add item one by one, right? Okay. Um, and then you can use the auto layout to manage the UI, right? So if you remember the top, leading, trailing, bottom anchor, right? Okay, and that simply means you do want to translate this into false, right? Okay, so therefore, you know how to call this method one by one, right? Okay, so this is basically an initialization. This is just an initialization. But what you can do is modify the content mode, right? If you remember what is it? It's the scale aspect of fit, all right? Why we need to do these separately instead of in a for loop? It is because this is UI view, this is a text view, and this can be UI label as well, right? Okay, so there are different animals, but they are all subclasses of a UI view, which is uh, the lower level stuff, right? Okay. Um, and for these, you can also define, right, is edible, right? So then you turn it into false. It can also be true as well, right? And is user or is selectable. This can be true as well. So therefore you can copy and paste. Maybe not paste, you can copy it. But a label, right? Label doesn't have is edible. Is edible. There's no such method, right? So is edible. There's no such method. Okay. It is because it is UI label, not a text view. If you force access, this is not going to happen, right? Okay. It doesn't have. All right. Okay. But however, you can define the auto layout constraint first, right? Okay, and then it's all good. And then how would you replace it? Replace the standard by the customized one. All right, that is also pretty straightforward. It is. So firstly, all right, you need to, if there are too many codes here, all you need to do is just a search and then search UI table view. And then because inside these class, there's supposed to be only one table. Yeah, most likely. Then you can easily uh, direct to the locations here, which is here. Firstly, you need to modify this one. All right, UI table view cell into customize the cell, right? And then this is all good to go. But one last thing is at the cell for robot here, right? Okay. As you can see, so this big method, right? It returns into UI table view cell. All right. So therefore, you need to cast it, right? So using AS exclamation mark, you need to cast it as a customized cell, right? Therefore, this cell, right, is an instance of this customized cell. There's many ways to handle this. You can also using colon, customizable cell, and assignment operator. And yeah. All right. So there are just many ways to handle that. Um, yes. But usually, all right, we don't cast but we cast the later here as, all right? And well, there's just many ways, okay? And then right here, as you can see, cell period, then you can access chapter subtitle, chapter title, and icon view here, right? Um, and what if you remove that? And apparently, there's no such chapter, right? Okay, it is because cell is not instance of customized table views arrays. Okay, so these are something you probably want to be aware of, right? Okay. Um, so far, do you have any questions?
Could you show creating the how you would create the titles inside the menu you already have?
The title? Okay.
So right now you have chapter one and two.
Yep.
So when you click into chapter one, how would you make another list
Uh, you want the list in the same page or in a new page?
in the new page?
Okay, in a new page. So firstly, all right, that is also very straightforward here, right? You have chapters here, right? Okay. And then what you really want to do is let uh in chapter we have what? Uh, I'll just say maybe chapter uh, titles, right? Okay. And this one's going to be a string as well. All right. But as you can see, if I do a single array, right? So most likely, it is going to be a bit um, just a bit difficult to manage, right? So therefore, we want to use a 2D array, right? Okay, we want to use a 2D array. And right here, we have these and that. And then for these, okay, one, two, three. Uh, Currently, we only have two chapters, right? So chapter one, and we want this one to be maybe let's say maybe T1, all right? Maybe we can have like uh, P2, right? But usually, let's see, maybe this one is C C1 T1, and this is C1 T2, right? And in terms of these, I'm going to copy this and paste it here. This is chapter two and chapter two. And probably chapter two has more contents, right? So C2 and T3. Okay, makes sense, right? Okay, so these are chapters, right? These are chapters. So basically, right, whenever we head into this chapter here, right? So we're accessing the zero index as well, right? So 0 to 0, 1 to 1, but the 1 has 1 and a 2, right? Okay. So therefore, what we really need to do is, all right, as we can see, so at the detail of VC here, right, we have the title data, and we also want to have something called var, maybe a title index. This one is going to be, I'll just initialize it by 0 here, right? Okay. And definitely, whenever we have these, we can wire all of these up, right? Okay. And remember, where do we manage the trans data passing, right? Is as a data select row as. Okay. So therefore, we have VC period title index is going to be it is supposed to be the current index, right? So therefore, it's index path dot row. Very straightforward here, right? Okay. And then so since we're in chapter one, right? So we want to display C1, T1, and a C1, T2, right? Okay. So, and logically speaking, I guess probably we need a table view, another table view inside, right? Okay. But firstly, all right, we want to manage our logic. Whenever our logic is good, we just implement the UI, right? Okay, there we go. So, and then definitely what we need to do right here is a var. This is going to be what chapter titles, right? titles. And this is actually is going to be a single array, right? Okay. And right here we have these here. Now what we need to do is, okay, whenever we initialize these here, right? Okay. So as the data select row here, so VC period, what do we have here? This is the chapter titles. It's actually going to be what? It's actually going to be chapter underscore titles of index dot row. Actually, we can do that. So therefore, we just like 1-to-1, right? Append this one here, right? Okay. So there we go. And then let's see what is going on here. I guess I can add the detail of VC here, right? Okay. And I can do a function. This is a load the data, right? Okay. Load the data. I'll just print my chapter titles real quick. And then let's see what is going on, right? I guess, oh, I need to call this method as well. Load the data, right? And then run the code one more time. So let's see what is going on. So overall, I guess this is going to be, I'll be seeing some result at my console actually, right? Okay. So right here, there's no nothing. And chapter one, what do I see? I see chapter one, T1, chapter one, T2, right? Okay. And I go back and then I see chapter two, T1 that have three data here, right? Now we have already successfully passed data from one view to another, and the rest is basically we just need to show the data by UI, right? Okay, so let's see that, right? And for these, right? Okay, these are all at where? These are all at the tutorial VC, right? So in a much better way to manage the UI or the code, right? The level. So usually we want to put all of the variables on the very top, right? On the very top. So this is basically variable declaration, right? Declaration, right? Okay. Um, and they are all data related, right? They're all data related and data related, right? Okay. And then we also have something like protocol methods, right? Okay. And those are basically what? Those are basically UI elements, right? From UI kit, such as table view, right? And uh this is basically this UI setup, right? This UI setup. This is basically setup method here, right? Okay. Um, so does this make sense to you?
Yeah.
Good. All right. So yeah, absolutely. So you need to create a chapter, and the chapter one's the details, chapter one's details number two, right? And then you select these index, right? And then in the meanwhile, you also select these, and you also copy these as the detail VCs, the chapter titles here, right? Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, it's like you're playing a Lego, right? Or like a yes, okay. So one by one, right, connection over here. Good. Okay, so I'm going to forward this code to you, and I'm going to allow you to work on this a little bit. All right, good.